for more on the rising threats faced by election and poll workers, I want to welcome in David Levine with the Alliance for Securing Democracy. David, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, David, you just heard about the increase in threats to poll workers, at least 140 in Arizona in the past few months alone. Does this echo what you are hearing on the ground in our country right now?
You know, it certainly reflects the worries and anxieties that many election officials and workers have. You know, the Brennan Center has published studies showing that a high fraction of election officials feel for their personal safety. Obviously, as part of the January 6th committee's work, we heard from poll workers who spoke about the threats on their lives as a result of the work that they did to defend 2020. And sadly, we see more of these efforts continuing across different parts of the country.
And the specificity of these threats really striking to me, from execution to being wrapped in barbed wire and dragged from a car. How concerning are these threats? What are you making of this?
These threats go right to the core of the integrity of U.S. elections. Poll workers are the backbone of American democracy, and our election officials are the ones that lead the charge to ensure that we have free and fair elections. And there's no place for this kind of behavior. We've seen an unprecedented exodus of election officials, which unfortunately, comes at the hands of folks who seek to overturn American democracy as we know it. But I will add that we've also seen lots of election officials remain in their capacities. We've seen lots of poll workers step up to the plate to serve their country. And I still believe that voters can have confidence in the integrity of the upcoming midterms.
And we're also tracking other situation, masked armed poll watchers, some calling them vigilantes in Maricopa County, Arizona, and separately as well, reports of people taking photos or videos of poll workers threatening to dox them or post their information online. How are poll workers being told to protect themselves in the current climate that we're seeing in our country?
Sure. Well, one thing that we've seen, certainly since we saw an uptick, or we've seen an uptick in this behavior, is we've seen closer relationships formed between election officials and law enforcement across the country. And in fact, Maricopa County is an excellent example of this, where we've seen the Maricopa County Sheriff work hand in glove with election officials to try and provide some assurance to poll workers. We've also seen stepped up efforts by some federal partners, including the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, the U.S. Department of Justice, and the formation of its Election Threats Task Force, and some other federal entities. And of course, as part of the poll worker training that many election officials are providing, we've seen things like de-escalation training, as well as rogue poll worker, rogue poll watcher, and rogue voter scenarios, so that poll workers have a sense for what they might need to be on the lookout for and how they can get in touch with folks if some of these worst case scenarios are to pass.
Yeah, and David, I spoke live with the sheriff of Maricopa County. He is doing and going to incredible lengths to try to protect and keep these sites safe, and also expresses a lot of frustration that his resources are going towards this right now, and a wish that all of us could honor this democracy that we are blessed with. David Levine, I certainly appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.